Hi everyone, it's Pake here, and today I'm bringing you big news related to Where Winds Meet because we finally have a global release date, being this November 14th, 2025. This game has been one of the most talked about projects in recent years because it's an open world RPG set in medieval China with spectacular combat, limitless exploration, and tons of online systems that make it feel almost like an MMO. And the craziest part, it's going to be free to play. Yes, completely free, only cosmetics will be monetized, no pay to win whatsoever. That's almost unheard for a game of this scale and quality. But before we get too hyped, let's talk about the concerns, the beta criticisms, and how the game performed in China before heading to its worldwide launch. Let's start with the most striking aspect, the business model. Where Winds Meet will be completely free, the only purchases available will be cosmetics like outfits, mounts and visual effects for weapons, purely aesthetic content. This is a huge difference compared to many so-called free-to-play titles that end up being pay-to-win. Here, at least on paper, they will no longer be stronger weapons locked behind money, no hidden stats, no loot boxes that give you power, and so on. And it's surprising because we're not talking about a small indie project. This is a massive title with AAA level of graphics, high-quality cutscenes, and a world that competes directly with the best in the industry. Getting all of that for free is a bold statement from Everstone and NetEase. And by the way, Everstone is the developer, NetEase is the distributor, and NetEase has given us already good, friendly, free-to-play games like, for example, Marvel Rivals or Naraka Bladepoint. Of course, we will have to see if they deliver on this promise, but right now the message is clear. It's a fair free-to-play game where skill matters, not your wallet. Some people have shown concern for the business model because it's free to play with only cosmetics to buy. The game already gives you for free a lot of cosmetics, but they are really pretty in general, so you will be interested in buying even more. Or not, but in any case, the game has already earned, only in China in its first month, $100 million, which is absolutely huge. So you shouldn't be at all concerned for the economic viability of the game. Now, it's not all sunshine and hype, there's also a few concerns. In the beta that I played, one of the biggest criticisms was the translation quality. The English localization was rough, confusing menus, awkward dialogue, sentences that didn't make sense, and in a game this complex like Where Winds Meet with deep narrative and systems, that's a serious problem. However, developers are already aware of this problem and they will try to make it as good as possible. It's not all fault of the bad translation, the game in the end is really complex. There's too many systems to understand them properly, even with a good translation, and also the Chinese vocabulary based on the wuxia martial arts universe is really complex to translate to English language. Like all games, another worry is performance. However, in the Chinese community where the game has already released, I haven't seen much criticism about this. The game requirements are not super low, but not super high either. However, the game is also going to release in mobile, so I guess you will need a really good mobile to run it on. And maybe depending on the systems you're playing, you will feel a downgrade in graphics quality. Combat is one of the most exciting features of the game. It's built around martial arts with multiple weapon types like fast swords and long spears, but there's also typical wuxia weapons like magical fans and even umbrellas. The combat system feels dynamic and fluid. You can chain combos, dodge with precision, and pull off perfect dodges that will slow down enemies. There's also an integrated parry system, not just blocking, but a whole system where, if your timing is right, you will be able to counter with spectacular animations. It's not a pure Souls-like, but it clearly takes inspiration from that philosophy, while mixing in the cinematic flair of wuxia martial arts. Where Winds Meet truly shines is exploration. The world isn't just huge, it's dense, alive, filled with activities at every corner. In the beta, I found environmental puzzles, quirky minigames, massive world bosses that appeared out of nowhere. There are hidden dungeons, NPCs with branching side quests, and countless secrets that reward curiosity. This isn't one of those empty open worlds where you just travel from point A to point B. Here you can genuinely get lost for hours without touching the main story, simply because there's so much to do. That design is what separates forgettable open world from a memorable one, the feeling that in every direction there's a surprise, a challenge, or a mystery waiting for you. The single-player campaign should take around 150 hours. As you can see, the story is huge. However, there are also a lot of post-game online systems, PvE and PvP. For example, there are group raids against massive bosses, team-based PvP where clans fight for dominance, even a full-on battle royale mode built right into the game, something completely unexpected in an RPG of this kind. On top of that, you've got training, professions and social progression. It's essentially a mix of a traditional single-player RPG with endless possibilities of an MMO. The sheer number of systems is so massive that I couldn't possibly cover them all in a single video, and that alone shows how ambitious this game is. Let's not forget, Where Winds Meet already launched in China back in December 2024, and the results were insane. Over 3 million downloads in just the first 4 days, and as of now more than 30 million registered players. These numbers, only considering China as a country, are huge. Chinese social media exploded with clips from epic battles to emotional story moments. Some players even claimed that cutscenes made them cry. It's clear that this isn't just an experiment, it's a proven hit in its home market, and now, for the first time, we'll get to experience it worldwide with official translations and a synchronized global release. To sum it up, Where Winds Meet is shaping up to be an open-world RPG that could redefine what we expect from a free-to-play title. Stunning visuals and artistic design for a free game, a martial arts combat system with dodges, parries and multiple weapons, a dense living world full of puzzles, bosses, side quests and secrets, deep online systems that rival full MMOs, and a global launch coming in November 2025, day 14th. Of course there's doubts: will performance hold up, will the translation be polished, will the game truly stay fair and free of pay to win? But if the developer deliver on these promises, we're looking at one of the biggest releases of the year and maybe one of the most important free-to-play launches of that generation. I'll be covering it here on the channel with guides, first impressions and in-depth analysis, so make sure to subscribe. And now tell me, what excites you about the game? The combat, exploration, or the fact that it's a full-blown AAA free-to-play? Let me know in the comments, and see you soon where the winds meet.